Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. I'm Severely Mame, and today I wanted to go a little more in depth on my 1940s knit suit pattern. So I've been using a knitting pattern from the Subversive Femme website, and I've mentioned it a few times on here. I'm knitting a green wool suit, hopefully in time to wear for Christmas right now. I've shown you a little bit that I've been doing, but I figured I would go a little more in depth. I have all of the pieces of the jacket done today, and I would show you what I have left for the skirt. I touched on that in my last video, but a few people did request seeing more of my knitting, so here we are today. Like I said, I finished all the pieces of the jacket. So to start, I'm just gonna tell you a little bit about this project in Australia. It's from an Australian book, but it's, I think, based off of a French wool suit. And it has, I think, 3 different sizes available on the Subversive Femme website. It is all knit on a size 3 needle. You'll need a pair of needles for the jacket pieces, and then you need a circular one for working the skirt. Now, I just always work on circular, so I have used a circular needle for all of it, but a modern size 3. All of it is done on a fingering weight yarn, which is like a 4-ply, very small, but not as small as lace. I bought mine in like hanks that I spun into balls. I think I ended up having to buy about 12. Now, this pattern, for me to do the size 38 to 40 bust, I needed 4,930 yards, roughly. Bex from Subversive Femme helped me figure that one out with converting the brand of yarn that it was originally made out of, figuring out what the yardage per ball was. It lists in the pattern how much you need. So I'm going to need 4,930 yards to make this suit again in the future. I have gone through, I'm not sure how many at this point, actually. The jacket did not use a ton of yarn. It's probably the same amount you'd use for any long sleeve sweater. But the skirt, the yarn is going very fast as I work on it, which makes sense because it's big, it's long, and it's in the round. But I thought this project was going to take notably less yarn than I bought, but as I'm working on the skirt, I'm actually certain I'm going to use the majority of it, which is great. If I have enough left over to make a matching hat, I would love to do that, of course. I am not done with it yet. It is the beginning of December. I need to wear this for Christmas, and I have to balance that with other presents that I'm making. So I'm going to get into like crazy work mode and try and get this done very soon so I don't have to worry about it. Now, in this jacket pattern, it has you knit shoulder pads for the jacket. As I was looking at the jacket pieces as they were made, I was like, these all look like they're going to be pieced together and be maybe a little small for me. So I thought, I'm going to wait on doing these shoulder pads until I've pieced the entire jacket together and try it on and see if there is even room for a shoulder pad. I like shoulder pads. There is some in this blouse, so I like wearing them. I am going to follow the directions next by working on blocking all of my pieces. Now they have cables running up the yoke on all of the front and back jacket pieces, and then the collar and the little faux pocket flaps. The sleeves are just straight. Those are going to be easy. So I'm going to have to block all the pieces, and how it says to do it is just to use a damp cloth and warm iron. So I'm going to do that next, and then I'm going to start piecing everything together. I'm not sure if I'm going to show you making up the whole jacket, but I'm going to show you my process, how I've just been working on this for a little while. So here's a basic look at my pieces as they are before I block them. Kind of laid out how they'll go. I have 2 front pieces, 2 pocket flaps, 2 sleeves, 1 back, and 1 collar. Now they have this nice cabling on the top, creating a yoke pattern on the front and back pieces. The cables are also on the collar and on the pocket flaps and go up the front with some moss stitching for the buttons. Now, the sleeves were very standard, just stock net stitch with increases and decreases. The collar, fairly simple. Now I'm going to move on to blocking these pieces before I piece them together. I thought this would make it a little easier because they'll be flatter, and that's how the directions called for it. So I have a damp piece of cloth. This is just a cotton muslin that I will wet throughout the process and then take the iron to, which creates steam. Now this first piece, I did it with the cable side up and I regretted that. I then swapped over to putting my cables facing down so they didn't get as smushed. But you can see here, when I line up this piece that I just ironed with the other pocket flap, how much it flattens out and how much bigger it gets. So I'm going to speed up through the rest of this process, but it's the same thing pretty much of using my damp cloth and my iron on a warm setting. When I get to larger pieces, I use pins to pin them down to my ironing board, which is just a towel on a table right now. And then I use the damp cloth and iron over those. I'm using a small piece of cloth here because I feel like it gives me a bit more of control of where I'm going, and I make sure I don't miss any areas. Like I have to go around and move the cloth every time so I know I'm hitting all the right spots. I think maybe normally people would use a bigger cloth. That just works for me. In the future, I might obviously change that. I'm not going to show you me blocking all the pieces, but you have the front piece. This is one of the sleeves. I showed you the flaps and collar. And after all of this got blocked, I let them cool, took them off, and then it's time to piece them all together. So here I am just starting to stitch. I have a large yarn needle. I'm using the tail from my knitting to start this. On this piece I will end up having to add more, but there's a lot of resources on how to seam up your knit pieces. I had to watch one for this. I am not good at this. This is my least favorite part of knitting. I am terrible at it. But, you know, it's something that I have to do and I have to get better at because I enjoy knitting. So here I'm going to just be seaming up the one of the fronts to the back, and then I will also seam up one of the sleeves. At some point you will see me have to go back and fix one of these pieces because as I was kind of adjusting it after, I felt one of the threads snap. The yarn snapped that I stitched it up with, so I had to go out, take out that piece, restitch it up, which was fine because I was running into some issues on getting everything to match up. It's just, I'm so bad at this. If anyone has any tips or tricks on how to become good at seaming your knit pieces, please let me know below in the comment section because I am so bad at it. It is just, it I think is part of why I don't like finishing knit pieces because I don't know how to put them together. And I feel like every time I put them together, the seams look like garbage. And I feel like I have ruined a good project with not knowing what the heck I'm doing. Because I can watch a million videos and then when I put it into action, I have a terrible, terrible time figuring it out. So, you know, maybe one of you can help me. Let me know down below. I would love the help. Here I've moved on to the sleeve, and obviously there's two of these. There's two front pieces that get sewn onto the body, and then I'll have to weave in threads and everything like that. But this is just a taste of my sewing time. Okay, I've got my skirt piece here. As you can see, since my last video, I haven't gotten a ton more done. I think I am a little bit more than halfway finished. But because I'm decreasing every 2 1/4 rows, I've got half of my decreases done. So I'm actually a little bit more than halfway done in stitch count theory. The skirt is really, really basic pattern-wise. It's all just knit and purls in like maintaining the pattern. And then every 2¼ inches, you knit 2 together in the center of the knit panels, and you work that all the way around, and then you just continue on with your regular knitting and purling. It's really simple, which is great because it is not fast growing particularly. To get the 2¼ inches done, if I did nothing but knit all day, I could get it done in like a day. I could get my increase, or I could get my decrease done in a day. I have been juggling a bunch of other projects and dealing with my hands wanting to kind of cramp up a lot lately. So I haven't been able to work on it as quickly as I want. The majority of this pattern is super like simple when it comes to like knitting methods. You primarily need knit, purl, increase, and decrease. And the increase on all of this is knit into the front and the back. And it's usually just done for the shaping of the waist. And then you have to do cables, which are fairly simple. I just YouTube how to do them every time just as a refresher. Now I don't think I'll ever have to do that again because there was just enough cabling on this that it's burned into my memory. And it does want me to crochet like around all of the edges of this, like the skirt, the sleeves, the collar edge, and the edge of the pocket flaps. Now, I'm not sure if I'm going to do that yet because I don't know how to crochet, and I could technically probably learn in time, but we shall see if I actually do that. We'll see how tight a race it is to finish here. But it's fairly simple in construction across the board, which is really nice because to knit a whole suit, if it was really labor intensive, I don't know if I would be able to do it because it's just so much knitting time to start. So, like I said, it's primarily knit, purl, increase, decrease, and the decreases usually are knit 2 together, and the increases are knit the front and the back. So, I just dropped my ball yarn. But yes, so here's the skirt as is. I'm a little more than half done when it comes to the amount of decreases I have. All in all, I'm very excited about this. This one I think will be a quick block and finish once it's like fully knitted up because I don't have to piece anything together. I will just have to make a casing for the elastic at the waist, which is another piece that it wants me to crochet, but I still don't know how to crochet like a few seconds ago. So maybe I'll learn that. Maybe we'll learn that together. There's enough resources here on YouTube that's fairly reasonable to say. So I've kind of shown you the basics. Now, let's check back on how that jacket is coming along. So I've seamed up the sleeves here. It looks pretty good to me. It's not perfect. I will be the first to say that. But, you know, it's a knit. These will be hidden on the undersides of my arms. I'm not super worried about it because I can't be perfect at everything. Here, I've got a little bit of like gathering almost because the piece looked like it was going to become uneven. This is the front and back laid out together. I've sewn the right side on completely. The shoulder is all done, as you can see here. And then I have also stitched up this side. It matches up at the top and at the bottom like it should. I have trouble seaming together with a lot of increases and decreases. This is the button panel in the center. I might look into reinforcing those with ribbons because I think this is going to be small. But here I've run into some problems. These pieces are not matching up. I'm going to have to take this out and restart it. The bottom matches up, but the top does not. So this is where I'm at right now. I'm going to take this out and work on it a little bit more, and you'll see this when it's finished. Okay, so I'm not going to give you the full reveal, obviously, of this project because the skirt isn't finished just yet. And I don't want to debut it until Christmas Eve when it is hopefully finished. After that, you will get a look at it on Instagram for sure, and I will do a video on my entire vintage suit collection, which some of you did want to see, where I will feature my 1940s knit suit. I will link the pattern for this below. Subversive Femme is a great website and a great resource for vintage knitting patterns and some sewing patterns. Bex is amazing. She does Curvy Month every year. This is a Curvy Month pattern, so it is available for free, but please go and support her in buying some other patterns. I have bought many from her. I have not used a ton of them yet, but I have used a handful, like my Halloween sweater, my big candy corn that I'll show you. That one was a pattern from Subversive Femme. This suit is one. I've got hat patterns and things like that in the past. I am very excited about it. I love Bex and Subversive Femme a ton. Make sure to check them out. Follow them on Instagram. But all in all, that is, I guess, one of my first Christmassy themed videos this year. Because this is my suit for Knitmas, I will hopefully have it done in time to show all of you. Like I said, follow me on Instagram if you want to see that first, because I can't show you the full finished thing until Christmas Eve when I get to wear it. Thank you all so much for watching. I am Severely Mame. Make sure to like this video and subscribe to my channel if you like what I'm doing here. If you want to see some exclusive content, follow the link below to my Patreon account, where I have all kinds of craft, drag, all around lifestyles of the witch and famous, as I'd say. I will see you all next week. Have a good one. Happy holidays. Wear a mask.